Hi, my name is Karen Freeman Wilson, and I'm the mayor of Gary. I am here with our park superintendent, Nate George, and our director of water safety, Christine Gooden Williams, and we want to talk to you about water safety. Now, we all know that this is an exciting time. Summer is about to start. In fact, many think that Memorial Day marks the official start of summer. And while we are certainly going to spend the weekend remembering and honoring the memories of our loved ones and those who have given their lives for our country, for us in service, this is also a weekend of gathering with families, with friends, and very often that gathering is done not only in parks, but in areas where there is water. One of the greatest assets, in fact, I would call it one of the jewels of our community, is Marquette Park, Marquette Beach, and certainly Lake Michigan. We also know that with the lake, there are some inherent dangers that come with the ability to enjoy the lake and the lakefront. And so today we're here to talk about some changes that we have made to ensure water safety, to remind you of some of the practices that we started last year and that we will continue this year, and to give you some information that will assist you in having an overall good time. So I think we should probably start with our flag system, since each of us is holding a flag. So I'm going to ask Christine to kind of talk about the flags.
Okay, on a daily basis, some type of flag will always be posted. When the conditions are calm and it's okay for swimming and the lifeguards are on duty, it will be the green flags. That will be during the times of 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The yellow flag will represent when it's maybe just a little wavy, but it's still okay for swimming. Red. Red is when we're advising no one to go swimming. That is usually due to rough rip currents, rough waters, and when lifeguards are off duty. At 6 o'clock, regardless if the water is calm or not, the red flag will automatically go up when the lifeguards are off duty. And that's just to ensure your safety that there's no staff that's present at the beach.
Christine, where do we get that information from about the water and which flag we should fly?
Okay. Well, we get that information from the Weather Center. Every morning, we go to the Weather Center and it tells us, it lets us know what the water conditions, hour by hour, if the water's going to change. So sometimes the water might be okay around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, but it will change around 2 or 3 o'clock. So as the water decides to change and go whichever the wind goes, we will change the flag accordingly.
And where are these flags posted?
They will be posted on the lifeguard towers. So we have 5 lifeguard towers that's each color coded between it's red, blue, orange, and green, and yellow. And the flags will be on each tower, and they're therefore it'll be visible on the top of the lifeguard towers on the pole. And then we'll actually have signs out too for those who might not remember to let you know what each flag means.
Now, Nate, we were working this winter actually with Carol Smith and a volunteer water safety committee. Why don't you talk about the work? Because I was very grateful that not only Carol, but the entire group, Marianne, and so many others were willing to volunteer their time. And why don't you all talk about the work that group did this summer?
Sure.
Or winter?
Sure. Again, thank you. I want to say thank you to them for assisting us with that. One of the main things that we worked on was the emergency action plan, which needed updating for the city of Gary. So Christine and members of the committee worked extremely hard to revise the emergency action plan. What it does is it gives our personnel, and mainly our lifeguards, step-by-step directions on what to do in the case of an emergency. So there are different levels of drownings, and there are different things that you would do depending on what's occurring, who you should call, who you should go get, all of those things. So all of those things are in our emergency action plan, and they are disseminated to all of our lifeguards so they know what to do. So it's an internal document that was helped, that the committee helped us to create in order to make sure that we had clear lines of communication on what to do in the event that an emergency occurred.
And of course, our efforts are all around preventing those emergencies. But what we want to ensure the public is that we are preparing, that we are conscientious about your safety, and that we all want to have a good time. Would you talk a little bit about our carry in, carry out policy that we started last year?
Yeah, I want to give credit to my parks foreman, Claude Towers III, who researched the idea, seeing that some national parks and some other communities were doing it around the country. And essentially what we decided to do was remove the garbage cans from the shorelines and place them strategically at the entrance points and along areas of the beach. What we found is in past years, there would be an accumulation of garbage. It would be difficult for our staff to retrieve on a daily basis. Also, the wildlife would get into it. It would sometimes drift out into the lake. And so last year when we implemented the policy, we found out that we had a much cleaner shoreline. There were less pests on the beach itself. People were using the receptacles that are at the entrance points. And you did an op-ed last year, and couldn't have said it better, but it talked about how we teach our kids to clean up after themselves, from the time that they're 2 and 3 years old. And so essentially that's what we're asking visitors and residents to do, is just whatever you bring in, take out with you, put in the garbage cans at the entrance points.
Well, that turned out to be a very successful policy. Hats off to Claude. And, here's the other thing that I would say in just giving kudos to Christine and her team. Even though there were, I believe, 2 drownings last year, there was 1 drowning last year, there were a lot of saves that were not as highly publicized. And certainly we don't want to lose anyone. But the fact that your team is always ready. Would you talk a little bit, Christine? We were talking earlier about the water and the temperature right now, because I think even though it'll be nice or it might not be, we don't know, but people will say, well, it's nice outside. I'm going to the beach and I'm going to get in the water. Is that a good idea?
Right now, it's not a good idea. The water temperature is 50 degrees. Even though it's warm outside, with it being 50 degrees, you can have the risk of hypothermia. So you might think it's nice and stuff, but your body can go into shock and you can get ill or maybe need to go to the hospital.
And let me ask you a question. Is it advisable, is it even allowable to have campfires on the beach?
Absolutely
No
not.
fires.
Absolutely not. There's a risk that you can get the dune grass on fire and that it could have catastrophic results as a result of that. So, no, absolutely not.
And what about alcohol out on the beach?
Alcohol is prohibited in all Geary parks, including Marquette Park.
Well, and quite frankly, if you find that, alcohol and water don't really go well together.
No.
So, we just want you all to be safe. We certainly want you to have a great time, but we can't tell you enough how important it is to be safe. We will have our police officers. I think Officer Lilly is a little shy today, so he wasn't on camera with us, but you all know him well, and you know that he and his team will certainly be patrolling the beach actively. We'll have concessions this year.
Beach Buds.
Beach Buds. Why don't you talk a little bit about them?
Sure. Beach Buds, we're excited to have them as a vendor that operates the concession stand this year. They will be selling food such as nachos, hot dogs, pizza, those items, pops, water. But they'll also be offering beach equipment as well.
Mhm.
So like if you want to have a beach chair or things like that, they'll be able to rent those out to you.
Oh,
as
that
well.
would be really a great addition.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
we're excited about the addition to the beach this year.
So whatever you do, you have to make Marquette Park one of your stops or a frequent stop this summer. And as you decide when you'll come, make sure that you practice beach safety. We want folks to have a good time, but we also want you to be safe.
All right. The other addition that we do have, Mayor, one change that we have this year is the parking rates. So on Lake
Yeah.
Street, where we have people who go to launch their jet skis or their boats, the rates have changed this year. So for those who come in with the trailer, it's $10 for Gary residents, $12 for Lake County residents, and $15 for any other visitors. That allows you up to 2 jet skis. Any jet skis beyond 2, it's an additional $3 a jet ski. Additionally, our season passes. So if you want to come and park all year round, as opposed to paying every time you come in, $60 for Gary residents, $65 for Lake County residents, and $75 for anybody outside of Gary or Lake County. The last thing that we've done as it relates to parking is the addition of the parking pay stations. So we'll have one at the concession stand lot, which is Oak, right? Montgomery. I'm sorry.
Okay, Montgomery.
Okay, Montgomery.
That's it.
And then Marquette Drive, there's an additional one there. And so the price to utilize a parking lot in those areas is $7. If you are paying via a mobile app, there is a $1 convenience fee that is added on to that. And you just simply come in, it's credit card only, you pay, you get your receipt, you put it in the dashboard, and you're good to go. That covers you for the entire day. It's probably the best rate that you'll find in the area.
That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. Anything else?
Oh, last thing. It will be strictly enforced this year. Children 12 and under must be accompanied by someone 18 and over. And when we say that, that means the parent must be with the child on the beach. You can't be in the park or in your car and send the children down to the beach. Everybody needs to be within, especially when it comes to little ones, they're always advised that they be within arm reach. But it will be strictly enforced. We cannot, it's just too many different risks with all the water to have kids be dropped off at the beach.
All right. Well, stay tuned. This is what's going on at Marquette, but a little bit later next week, we'll talk to you about our overall summer parks and recreation program. There's going to be something for everybody to do in the city of Gary.